Sports Nation. Unleash the champion within.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Varsity Sports Nation for the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in the UFLX, featuring the visiting Florida Wave and the home team on the scoreboard, the Palm Beach Capos. Got some end-around action to start the opening kickoff as the Capos trying to get things around the corner. And the collision central down around the 42-yard line, as that's where the Capos will begin battle. I believe it was the Wave that won the toss. They've elected to defer. So the Capos will get possession to start the game, as that was Lamar Brewster on the kick return here in the first quarter. Beautiful day here in Boynton Beach, Florida for some football. Again, these two teams very familiar with each other. They've played each other every single year before they both joined UFLX. This is a UFLX versus Extreme Conference showdown, as the Capos have it 1st and 10. Not much there. Ball was carried there by Michael Mobley, run out of bounds by number 7 of Samuel Brown for the Wave. Wave come into this matchup 5-3 on the season. They are 6th, one position above the cut line for playoff contention. They have one more game to go against the Gulf Coast Sun Devils on May 2nd. Capos come into this game 2-6-1. This is their final game of the season. They are ineligible for the playoffs as they are too far down in the standings, as that is a incomplete pass. Looking for William Hamilton down the right sideline. Tyler Kelly back in at quarterback for the Capos. He missed last game. He's out with some health issues, but very encouraged to see him back out on the football field. Coach Bargerstock was very excited to have him back in at quarterback. He'll take the football, tries to chuck it downfield. Capos want a flag. That was Bamigbola Adiemi. That'll stop the clock with 13:54 to go here in the first quarter, as it'll be 4th and about 8 from the 45-yard line. See if Coach Bargerstock decides to leave his offense out. Looks like they're gonna punt it away here. Two deep men here for the Wave. Wave in those powder blue jerseys with gold helmets. Capos in those darkish gray and brown jerseys with black numbers and gold outline. Trying to get organized here on the punt team. Brandon Stedfelt is the punter. Low snap, able to get it off. It's going to be a high end-over-end kick. And it's going to take a Capos bounce all the way back to about the 15. We'll see where they spot it. And looks like they're going to spot it at the 16. That's where they say the runner got it before he went out of bounds. So first possession of the game for the Capos lasts a total of 1 minute and 18 seconds. And the Wave will begin their first drive of the evening. Again, this Wave roster 5-3 coming into this game. They have one more game left on Saturday, May 2nd against the Gulf Coast Sun Devils. Gulf Coast Sun Devils sitting at 3rd in the Universal Division, and the Florida Wave sitting in 6th. But the top team in that division is the Georgia Cobras. They come in at 9-0, only undefeated team in UFLX. And they're going to be one of the teams to look out for come playoff time. Wave, Quick handoff. This is what they're known for. Run first team. Getting across the 30, dragging a couple defenders down to the 42. Saw him against the Knights of Central Florida, Zamir McNeil, getting things going. And that's a Wave first down. So it does not take very long for the Florida Wave to kind of put a spike into the turf. And they'll step up, actually going to spot it at the 40. That is where they will begin things. Quick snap. Back to McNeil. Minimal gain there. First one there for the Capos was Eric Evans. Be second in about 8. And Zamir McNeil, one of the better running backs in this league. Coach Safari McElroy spoke very highly of him. It's hard to believe that we're at the tail end of the regular season for UFLX. Feels like just yesterday we were starting week 1. Had the kickoff classic back at Edgewater High School between the then Orlando Jets, now the Florida Rhinos, and the Palm Beach Capos, as we got some movement up front. It's going to be an offsides on the Capos, moving up 5 yards. Looks like it's going to set up, I believe, a 2nd and 3. So free 5 yards here for the Florida Wave. Ball spotted at their own 47. Talked to Coach McElroy, said have to be sound on defense. And if he had to pick, he would like to face the Dunedin Highlanders. And they last played in week 2 of the season. Dunedin escaped with a victory 9-8. But in all seriousness, he said, no game is safe, you just have to play. McNeil, another strong, hard run. Gets well past the first down marker by a couple of yards. And that'll be spotted at the Capo 48-yard line. Again, I said Coach Bargerstock very, very encouraged to have his quarterback, Tyler Kelly, back. Also been encouraged how the guys have overcame adversity all season long and have just stayed in the fight no matter what. And both of these teams look forward to this face-off every single season. And it's the first time these two teams have faced off in UFLX for the Coast to Coast Bowl. Both teams want to bring home a victory, as anybody does, but good old-fashioned rivalry between these two teams. But at the end of the day, they love hanging out and chopping it up after every which way. So that's a pass down the sideline. Wave, we're trying to find Kevo Tron. That is incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10 from the Capo 48-yard line, stops the clock, 10:05 to play in the first quarter. And got a breezy afternoon game. Wind is blowing towards in the face of the Florida Wave. So if you're the Capos, the wind is at your advantage, at least in this quarter and potentially one more quarter of this game. But for the Wave, they really don't pass a whole lot. They're more of a run-first offense. It's been their identity this entire season. That's what they want to stick to as much as they can. Wide doubles here. Yep, Zamir McNeil in the backfield. They're going to go pass here. Quick pass across the middle. and healthy gain up to about the 38. That was Sanchez Maltzby Jr. for the Florida Wave. It's going to be close to a first down. They're going to spot it about a yard and a half short, right around the 39-yard line. They need the 38. So it'll bring up 3rd and 1 for the Wave. Beautiful day for some football. Got up to about 87, 88 degrees. Supposed to get down to about 74 degrees by around 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Third down and 1. And quarterback is Nazavius Williams, number 1. And jump, movement up front. Second penalty of the drive. This time it's going to be false start. And it looked like Jerome Russell was the culprit there of the hard count, but the judge closest to the Capos sideline said, nope, it's a false start. So back it up 5. So that'll set up a 3rd and 6 versus a 3rd and 1. So we'll see what kind of play the Wave have up their sleeve. And we see them go a little bit more past the last few plays. See if they go back to old reliable Zamir McNeil. In wide doubles here. Motion a man across the field, make it trips out right. Williams thought about loading, takes it himself, and he will be dropped at the 46. That's a tackle made there by Antonio Allen of the Capos. Loss of 2 on the play, and it's 4th and 8 for the Wave. Heard the energy from the sideline for the Capos. They love it. And we'll see if the Wave decide to punt it away or if they're going to try for it here. In line to gain is the 38-yard line for the Capos. Capos have a deep man back. Looks like they're going to punt it away. Zamir McNeil, the running back, out as the punter. And no matter which team is playing where, you got to watch the fake. McNeil will punt it. High sky and kick. Motion for fair catch. Takes a Capos bounce back the other way. For the Wave, Raymond Richardson II downs it inside the 15-yard line. We'll take a quick break here on Varsity Sports Nation. Still 0-0. 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Conrad Volch back with you here on Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida, as the Florida Wave take on the Palm Beach Capos here at Somerset Canyons for the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in UFLX. Kelly, quick pass to the outside. Big run here for the Capos down to the 25, 26-yard line. As Adeyemi with the catch and run, and that's a first down. First down of the game for the Palm Beach Capos. So the first drive didn't go too far anywhere. Second drive, first play from scrimmage is a first down. And wide doubles here for the Capos. We'll see where Tyler Kelly decides to go with it. Quick handoff to their running back. And swallowed up right around the 25-yard line. Handoff was to Michael Mobley. First one there for the Wave was Benny Thurman III. And it's 2nd down and 10. Already 9 minutes deleted here in this first quarter. No score between the two teams. Universal versus Extreme Conference matchup. Capos, Kelly, running, gets up to the 30 before he's wrestled down by a couple Wave defenders. First one there was Rentas. Jordan Lewis was also there on the defense. So Kelly, they'll spot it at the 31-yard line. Gets it to about 3rd and 5 for the Capos. Another thing Coach Bargerstock said, they want to start early. Meaning, start fast, don't start late. So that's been the biggest thing this season is their offense comes alive, but late. Kelly, back to pass. Rolling to his right, finds a short pass up to the 30, across the 40, up to the 50. He's getting loose, up to the 40. Key stays on his feet, and he'll be tackled. Oh, the ball comes out. Wave say they have it. They'll toss it back, and they're running the other way to the 40 and blasted at the 46-yard line. What a turn of events. Capos thought they had a great setup. Benny Thurman III on the end around. And he is stuffed back at their own 46-yard line by number 72 of Vidal Bolanos. So just that quickly, with 4 minutes and 38 seconds to go here in the first quarter, Wave get the football back. Check that, they're going to spot it at the 47. And it was a great catch and run, but just had the ball ripped out towards the end. That's what gives the Wave their second drive of the game. Williams and McNeil in the backfield. Williams hands off to McNeil, trying to find an opening, trying to run around the right corner. Nowhere to go. Swarm of Capos come in to make their collection, and it's a loss of 3. And Capo is a name within the Mafia family. And when I say collection, I guess refer to tackles or sacks as like coming to collect the money. I don't know. We have fun here on Varsity Sports Nation. And UFLX Extreme with a capital X. Second and about 13 from the Wave 44. Williams loads it across the middle to the corner. Had a man there. Just a tad too far for the Wave. They were looking for Sanchez Malsby Jr. And it's 3rd down. So the Wave starting to utilize the pass more. Saw that towards the end of their first drive. And now seeing it here in the second drive. 3:31 to play here in the first quarter. Still no score. And Wave we're in a close game a couple weeks ago against the Knights of Central Florida. A couple mistakes. Had a fumble late, cost them the game. This time, cross the middle again. That one's tipped but caught. No, wait a minute. They're going to say no catch. Capo defense loving that. In the Wave trying to go to Maltsby Jr., and it's 4th down once more. So it's kind of been a battle of the defenses here in this first quarter. Offenses look like they're going to light it up and take off, but then it's either a multitude of mistakes or the defense just collapses down. And out to kick for the second time is Zamir McNeil for the Florida Wave in that 22 jersey. One man back deep for the Capos. It's going to land right around the 35-yard line, down at around the 33. Down once again by Raymond Richardson, the second. And the Capos will get a third drive here in the first quarter. 3:13 to play here in the first, and it's crazy, you know, every game has its own story. And for the Capos, they want to just put an exclamation point and go into the offseason on a high note. For the Wave, they're thinking, hey, we want to secure at least the 6th spot in the playoffs going into next week. They're just focused on playing their game. This is a pass across the middle by Kelly. Caught there by Manfani Holmes. Gain of 9 on the play. 2nd down and 1 from the 44. They need the 45. Do the Capos. And wind still blowing in the faces of at the backs, I should say, of the Wave. Or at the backs of the Capos, I should say, in the face of the Wave offense when they're out there. Kelly, back to pass. Has a man down at the Wave 40, falling down to about the 38. Big catch again for Holmes. And it's a first down for the Capos. They mark it at the 38. As we're just about 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Capos trying to reach pay dirt. Kelly hands it off to his running back. He'll bulldoze his way up to about the 31. Sebastian Lopez on the carry, number 34. Gain of about 6 up to looks like the 32-yard line. .124 to play here in the first. 2nd down and 4 for the Capos. Kelly, back to pass. Throws it down towards the corner. It's intercepted. The Wave pick it off, trying to run the other way. And out of bounds at about the 41. That is pulled out of the air by number 26 of Ty Stevens. And it's the second turnover committed by the Capos. One was a fumble and now an interception. So the Wave will be back on offense with 65 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Mark it at their own 41-yard line. So Ty Stevens, right place, right time. And the Wave trying to get things going here on offense. And the Wave will have to battle with the wind in their face for the next minute and 5. Then they'll flip field for the second quarter. Xavius Williams at quarterback. Zamir McNeil at running back. Williams rolling to his right. and low pass. They're going to say it's caught down at the 46 there by Dezuan Davis. Gain of 5 here for the Wave. Wave huddling up to call a play. This next play might be the last play of the first quarter. We'll see how fast they decide to go. But starting to try to establish the pass here early in the half. Williams hands it off to McNeil, and he'll spin his way up to about the 50, about a yard short of a first down. This will bring up 3rd and 1. And that is how the first quarter will come to an end. No score here in the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in UFLX. We got 3 more quarters to go. We cannot wait to bring you the second quarter. Still knotted up at 0 between the Florida Wave and the Palm Beach Capos. Welcome back into Varsity Sports Nation. Second quarter action here in the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in UFLX. Florida Wave on offense. They'll have 3rd and 1 here from the 50. They need the Capo 49 for a first down. See if Williams decides to go through the air, or if they go hand it off to McNeil here in the short yardage situation. Trying to draw the Capos off sides. Good discipline there on the defense. And movement up front. It's going to be an offsides on the Capos. So second offsides penalty in this half on the Capos. Seen a false start on the Wave. But Capos taking accountability for it. Just heard a guy echo, hey, that's on me. So instead of 3rd and 1 from the 49, it's now, or from the 50, excuse me, it's now 1st and 10 from the 45 of the Capos. Williams. 2 tight ends on the line. McNeil running around the left side. Gets up to about the 42 before he's run out of bounds. About a 2.5, 3-yard gain here for the Wave offense. As the defense for the Capos making a couple substitutions. As big number 99, Antonio Allen, comes back in. Well, the Capos, they'll spot it at the Capo 42-yard line. In this Wave offense, trying to bleed the clock and get to pay dirt. And their identity mostly is a run-first team. Been in some close games and some stretched-out games. And got a victory by virtue of a forfeit against the Inverness Venom last week. And this time, handoff to a different running back, and he'll be spun like 4 different times. Dezuan Davis cannot escape the clutches of Eric Evans. And this will bring up 3rd and long for the Florida Wave. Seems like both of these defenses start to clutch up once the offense gets past the 50. So it's going to be 3rd and 14 here for the Florida Wave. Line to gain is the Capo 35. Ball is at the Capo 49. So 3rd down and 14 for the Wave offense. See if Williams decides to go through the air or if he hands it off here to Zamir McNeil. 2 minutes expired here in the second quarter. Williams looking to go through the air, is going to throw it down deep. He's got a man down there. It's caught! And the ball comes out, and what are they going to call? It's going to be a touchback. It's going to be a touchback. The ref that you just saw on your screen calls a touchback. Heck of a defensive play there by the Capos. That was number 24 of Gentarius Oliver. How about that? That's why you don't give up on defense ever. Looked like Samuel Brown had a surefire touchdown for the Wave, and the Capos say absolutely not. Again, very close to a touchdown, but the ball came out at the 1 and went through the back of the end zone. Kelly hands it off to his running back. He'll be tackled right around the 21, mark him at the 22-yard line. Looks like that was Michael Mobley at running back there for the Capos. And whoever makes it into pay dirt for the first time today will have earned it, because neither team able to find the promised land here in the first half. Kelly will take it himself. Gets across the 30, takes a shot towards the end. And he's got enough for a first down. They'll mark it at the 31. And Kelly unable to play in the game against the Miami Bulls last week. Even had to start a DB at quarterback last week, able to put up 20 despite everything. Wide doubles here for the Capo offense. Quick handoff again. And the running game starting to come alive here for the Capos. Quick little run there by Mobley. I guess you could say Mobley is mobile. Ha-ha. Anyway, Capos in hurry-up offense here, trying to get the Wave napping. Kelly, it's intercepted! This might be a free play, though. But the Wave will play it out, running it back, and that's a touchdown. There are no flags. I think that counts. Wow. So that does count as a touchdown. Desjuan Davis, and it looked like from my vantage point there was a guy that did not get off the field fast enough for the Wave. So it'll be 6-0 Wave pending the point after try. Second interception of the day thrown by Tyler Kelly. First one was caught by Ty Stevens. This one caught by Desjuan Davis. The Wave look like they're going to line up for a 2-point conversion. Actually, no, they're going to line up for the 1. So Zamir McNeil, who also punts for the Wave, will kick it. 10:50 to play here in the second. Holder is Sanchez Maltzby Jr. And we got a whistle before the snap. So it looks like whatever happened, had to back it up 5 yards. This time the point after try will be from the 15-yard line. Or the ball will be snapped from the 15. Maltzby Jr.'s knee is going to be right at the 22. So it's going to be a 32-yard extra point here for McNeil. Snap is high, kick is up, and it is good. So the try is good, and it's 7-0. Florida Wave here in the second quarter. We'll take a quick break, 10:50 to go here in the second quarter. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. If you're just joining us, my name is Conrad Volch. Florida Wave get on the board first, virtue of a pick 6 by Desjuan Davis. And he runs it in. That's I believe that's his second pick of the day, 3 thrown by Kelly here in this first half. And who would have thought that the first score of the game would be on defense? Again, in my opinion, from my vantage point, where I'm standing, it looked like that the Wave did not get their man off in time, but the ref did not see it, thus they called it a touchdown. This time, run back here for the Capos, getting it into Wave territory. Tackle is made at about the Wave 46, 47-yard line. That's returned by Lamar Brewster, number 10. So the Capos will begin in Wave territory to start this drive. And despite all the craziness that happened in that first quarter here early in the second, it's still a 7-point game. Because both of these teams, once it looks like somebody's about to do something crazy or is about to just take over the game, the defense just steps up. That's been the theme of this game, has been defense. So 3 receivers to the right. Here for Kelly. He'll throw to 1. Catch is made right around the 49. Pickup of about 3. Caught there by William Hamilton, number 4. Ball will be spotted at the Wave 45. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Line to gain is the 37. Sebastian Lopez in the backfield. He'll take the handoff and burrows his way Going to be short of a first down, but he gets it up to the 38. Gain of 7, and it's 3rd and 1. Here the defense saying, watch the ball. And Kelly and Lopez in the backfield. Kelly hands it to Lopez. He's met at the 41-yard line. And do a little dancey dance right back at the 50 for big number 55 of Avantrell Hazard. And he was a hazard in the backfield. So loss of 2 on the play, 4th down and 3 from the 40. Line to gains the 37. Quick handoff, nowhere to go, trying to get free, swallowed up at the 50, and it's finally blown dead. Turnover on downs for the Capos. And another dancey dance by Hazard. And the Waves starting to feel it here in the 2nd quarter. Turnover on downs, and it's going to be 1st and 10 from the Capo 49. Almost 7 minutes gone here in this 2nd quarter. Wave have a touchdown by virtue of a pick 6. Trying to add to their lead on offense. Again, ball will be snapped at the 49 of the Capos. Mazavius Williams, Zamir McNeil in the background, 2 receivers out to the left and right. Williams thought about the pass, pulls it down. Running around the 50 up to the 45, spun down right at the 45. Believe that was Emmanuel Badillo who got there on defense, number 12, I believe. Gain of about 3. 2nd down and 7 here for the Wave offense. Line to gain is the Capo 39. And the Wave got a win by forfeit last week against the Inverness Venom. Last win on a football field was on March 28th against the Gainesville Ducks. Took that victory 38-0. McNeil. And he is swallowed up by a swarm of Capos, saying, "Where's my money?" And it's 3rd down. Nowhere for McNeil to go. Capos came to collect. No gain on the play. Third down and 7 from the 46. They need the 39. Under 6 to play here in the first half. Williams, back to pass. Throws across the middle. That one is intercepted. The Capos get a pick. Running the other way. Get up to about the 49. And smacking it down into the ground is the defender. That is number 18 of Raciel Milian with the pick. And the Capos will have it from the 50. It's been a turnover frenzy between these two teams. 4 combined picks and a fumble. Still 7-0. Capos will get it from the 50. And another swarm tackle. No gain. First one there was Jamil Hardin for the Wave. Stops Lopez before he can get a leg churn started. 2nd down and 10 for the Capos. And we got a timeout called. First one of the first half. Clock will stop. 5:01 to play here in the second quarter. Brent Bargerstock calls a timeout to talk to his offense. We'll take a quick break here on Varsity Sports Nation. 5:01 to play when we return here in the first half. Welcome back into Varsity Sports Nation. Conrad Volch here on the call. So happy you decided to spend your Saturday evening with us to watch some football in the NFL draft. 3rd day of the draft was today, but you know y'all were itching for some live action football. Snap out of the timeout, taken by Lopez. Gain of about 2 up to the Wave 48-yard line, brings up 3rd and 8. Under 4:40 to play here in the second quarter. Wave leads 7-0. Capos trying to get into pay dirt at least once before the end of the half. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Kelly rolling to his right. Trying to fight off some defenders. Trying to make something out of nothing, and he is walloped at the 48-yard line. Jamil Hardin says, "Not in my house." Well, it's not really their house because they're on the road, but you get the picture. So 4th and 12 from the 48-yard line. Seeing if the Capos decide to punt or if they're going to go for it. If they do decide to go for it, line to gain is the Wave 40. Deep man for the Wave is Ty Stevens. And it looks like they're going to punt. Everybody getting organized here on the offense and defensive side of the ball, and it will be a punt here for the Capos. High snap. And that hits somebody in the leg. Who are they going to give it to? And it's going to be Wave ball. That was close. It looked like it might have gone off a Capos leg. Or a Wave leg, I don't know. But either way, ref points for the Wave offense, and they'll take over at their own 30. So 3 minutes and 11 seconds to play here in the first half. Wave have all 3 of their timeouts. Also have the luxury of the 2-minute warning. Again, Capos looking for their first win at home since back on March 7th against the Florida Marines. Won that game 56-32. And in their last home bout was a 20-14 loss to the South Florida Lions. Trying to end this season on a positive note. McNeil takes the handoff, in some trouble, spins out of a tackle up to the 35 and wrestled down at about the 39. How in the world did he do that? I thought Derrick Henry played for the Baltimore Ravens. I guess not. So what would have been probably a 1 to 2 yard loss turns into a 9-yard gain for the Wave. And they're taking their time here on offense. Under 2.5 to play here in this first half. And they got all 3 of their timeouts and the 2-minute warning should they decide to use it. And they're going to take up as much time as they can. See if the Capos decide to call any timeouts before the end of the game. Williams back to pass. Rolling to his right. Gonna pull it down and run. Gets across the 50, cuts it inside. Hops over a man and is spun out of bounds down around the 36. How about that running by Nazavius Williams? That'll stop the clock with 1:55. So we'll take a quick break. 1:55 to play here in the second quarter. Wave on the push. We'll be right back here on Varsity Sports Nation. We are back here on Varsity Sports Nation out of the 2-minute warning. 1:55 on the clock for the Wave. They got all 3 timeouts should they decide to use them. And that was a huge run by Nazavius Williams before the stoppage. Looking for the pitch play. McNeil gets it and tried to hurdle. Not sure what he was trying to hurdle there. The Capos trying to say that that was a forward pass. And in my opinion, it looked like Williams tossed it backwards to McNeil, but it was really close. You want one that's even closer, just ask the Tennessee Titans on the Music City Miracle back in that playoff game against the Buffalo Bills, back when Wade Phillips was the coach of the Bills. And in real time, it looked like it was a simple toss on that kick return, but camera angles sometimes tell different. I don't know, I don't want to speculate, but it happens. 1:46 to go here in the second quarter. Nazavius Williams and Zamir McNeil in the backfield. And we'll see if they decide to go with the deep pass or play the safe game and hand it off to McNeil. Williams has proven he's got legs. Time they hand it off to the man, number 17, Zuon Davis, who has the pick 6. But a late flag comes in. We'll see if it's who it's on. likely it's going to be holding on the Wave offense. We'll see what the white hat gives us, and it is holding. So Desjuan Davis, healthy run is negated by penalty. So the ball will be spotted at the Capo 37-yard line. Clock will stop with 1:37 to play. What's the saying? If at first you don't succeed, try again. And beautiful day for some football here in Boynton Beach, Florida. The Wave trying to cause a tsunami in the end zone before the end of the first half. They're motioning a man across. They hand it off to McNeil. Up to the 30, he's loose! And is finally wrestled down at the 21. He stayed in bounds, so they'll roll the clock. McNeil has been a dangerous weapon on offense for the Wave. In the Wave, not in any hurry here, as we are down to 62 seconds to go here in the first half. Again, they've got 3 timeouts to their name. And they are not in any hurry at all. No offensive scores yet, and we'll have a timeout. Wave take it down to 44 seconds. They'll call timeout. We'll take it with them. It's a 7-0 game as the Wave trying to be the first offensive score of the game when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. We are back here on Varsity Sports Nation. Out of the timeout taken by the Wave. They'll have 2 remaining. It's 7-0 by virtue of a pick 6 earlier. 44 ticks to play here in the first half. Xavius Williams, what will he do with the football? Takes the snap. He'll take it himself. The brigade led by McNeil. He runs it up and is blasted out of bounds right around the 10. Clock will wind. So 1st and 10 from it looks like the 11, and it's going to be a timeout called by the Wave. They let it get down. Finally stop the clock at 19 seconds. We'll stay right here with them. Oh, then they add 5 more on it, so the clock was stopped at 24 seconds to play. But taking a look here at the Florida Wave, started the season 1-2. They had a 22-6 win against the Florida Cougars to start the season. Back-to-back losses against the Dunedin Highlanders. And then a 20-14 loss. Since then, they have gone 4-1, since that 1-2 start. Currently sitting 6th in their division. Williams, and that one, he got hit as he threw. And that'll stop the clock with 19 seconds to play. 2nd down and 10 from the 11. Line to gain is the 1. So 19 seconds to play. Wave trying to find pay dirt. They can't. They have a decent kicker in Zamir McNeil and made the 32-yard extra point. And wind at the back. So, that affects the throws if they decide. Williams loads up, trying to find an open man. Throws it. Caught it from his knees was McNeil. It's going to be right at the line to gain, and that'll set up 1st and goal. And that'll prompt the Wave to call their 3rd and final timeout with 8 seconds to play here in the first half. Not the prettiest play. Oh, now actually they're going to mark it short, so it's going to be 3rd and inches from about the 2 and we'll say 6-inch line. So here we go for the Wave. Can the Capos stand tall, or will the Wave get it across? It looks like we got some questions, I think. A couple players on the side talking to one of the refs. And not really sure what's happening here. Waver huddled up, standing at about the 12. I'm not really sure what happened there. But nonetheless, it's going to be 3rd and inches here for the Wave offense. Oh, no, they're huddling up again. Very interesting last few minutes here of the first half. And Wave trying to punch it in the end zone. 3rd and inches from about the 2. They need the 1. 1 for a first, end zone for a touchdown. Deshaun Brown in at running back. Williams tosses it up, and it's caught for a touchdown! Touchdown Wave! Kevo Tran. And it's 13-0 Florida Wave over the Capos. How about that? So no time left on the clock. It'll be basically like an untimed down. When the point after is through, that will be the end of the quarter. Perfect pass and catch. Again, they pulled Zamir McNeil from the backfield, and they put Deshaun Brown in. And all Kevo Tran had to do was catch it, and he did. So Zamir McNeil will line up for his 2nd point after attempt of the evening. 1 for 1 on the day. Can he make it 2? High snap again. It's low roller, and this will be returnable. Capos trying to return it. They're running around the right side. Big block, flag comes out, more than likely going to be a blindside block, and that's going to be the end of the quarter. And we got a player down for the Wave. Back at around the 8-yard line. Heavy, heavy hit. And that's going to go down as a blindside block. Again, the referees coming together to talk about it. See what their decision is before we head into halftime. Again, from our vantage point, looked like a blindside block, which again, this league is as close to NFL rules as you can get. And Wave player is still down. Hope he's okay. And still no word on the field. They're still talking about it. Injured player was number 37 of, I believe it was Xavier Robinson. Well, that's the end of the half. So after all that, the Florida Wave lead 13-0 over the Palm Beach Capos. We'll take a break for halftime and be back in about 15 minutes here on Varsity Sports Nation. Don't go too far. Second half coming up next here in the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl. Welcome back into Varsity Sports Nation here in the land of Boynton Beach, Florida at Somerset Canyons, home of the Palm Beach Capos. My name is Conrad Volch here for the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in UFLX here in Week 10 as it is playoff push time. Well, for the Florida Wave, they sit in 6th out of 7 in the Universal Conference. That conference is led by the Georgia Cobras at 9-0, the Dunedin Highlanders at 7-2, the Gulf Coast Sun Devils at 6-2, the Duval Bengals at 6-3, Tampa Bay Tigers at 6-3, Florida Wave at 5-3, and the Central Florida Golden Eagles at 4-5. If it were to end before this game started, all 7 of those teams are making the playoffs. However, team on the outside looking in is the Central Florida Blue Devils at 4-5. See if they sneak in or if all the teams hang tough and stay in the top 7. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, these two teams have played each other in previous years before they joined UFLX. Coach Brent Bargerstock of the Capos and Coach Safari McElroy of the Wave look forward to this game every single year. And these two teams, great friends with each other outside of the football field. Again, they compete hard on the football field. But good little rivalry here between the two squads as the kickoff return gets back to, we'll see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be around the 45-yard line of the Wave. And the Wave in their powder blue uniforms with gold helmets, and the Palm Beach Capos in their darkish gray uniforms. Capos on defense to start the second half. Wave won the toss and deferred. 13-0 here in the start of the third quarter. And the Capos scored. They had a pick 6 and a touchdown right before the end of the half. That's been the only scores of the game. Offenses on both sides have shown some promise until they get into the opponent territory, and then it either collapses or the one drive that the Wave were able to score. Other than that, not much. Williams, little dump pass up to about the 47, up to the 45. And continuing from the first half, Kevo Tran needed 10, got 10. It's 1st and 10 from the Capo 45. Tran has the TD catch at the end of the first half. Literally his time expired. 8 seconds on the clock, and he was able to convert the touchdown from off the pass of Nazavius Williams. 14 minutes to play here in the third quarter as the Wave trying to start quickly here in the second half. And a whistle before the snap. Offsides. It's the third offsides penalty on the Capos today. They'll move it up 5 yards to the 40, so that'll set up 1st and 5 for the Wave. In 2 plays and 15 yards gained, 5 of it in penalties for the Florida Wave. Again, Wave coming into this game 5-3, Capos 2-6-1. And they had that tie against the Marines a couple home games ago. Looking looking for their first home win since early March. McNeil takes the handoff. It's going to be close to a first down. He wasn't down. Looked like he was going to be short of a first and churns some butter with those legs and gets another couple yards. Needed 5, he got 6. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the Capo 34. Just when you think you have tackled Zamir McNeil, you don't. Or you haven't, I should say. And the Wave are in no hurry. And loading up the offensive line, couple tight ends there. Motion man, McNeil slips a tackle, gets up to the 30. Dragging defenders up to about the 27. Capos want an offensive holding call, don't get it. And that's a gain, looks like about 7 here for the Wave offense. Ball spotted at the Capo 27. Second and 3 for the Wave. Taking their time to start the second half. Williams hands it off to Brown. Nowhere to go there. Maybe gains a yard. Seen Deshaun Brown in the backfield to give Zamir McNeil a breather every now and again. They're going to say no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Florida Wave. Capos trying to keep this at least within a 2-score game. Do not want this to stretch out any farther than it is. But again, if you're the Wave, exactly what they're doing right now, letting the time tick down. We're already down to 10:24 to play. This drive started from their own 45. And it's hard to believe we had no score in the first quarter. But, I mean, the first quarter was dominated by the defenses. I mean, we had turnovers and just neither team could find the end zone. First score of the game was a pick 6. Sean Brown in the backfield with Williams. Williams rolling to his right. And he'll keep it himself. And that'll be a loss on the play. Gets shoved out of bounds right around the 34. Right around the 34, 33 and a half yard line. Brings up 4th and 9 for the Florida Wave. It's a loss of 6 on the play. And we'll see if the Wave keep their offense out there to go for it. And we saw the Capos go for it in the first half on a 4th down, didn't get it. But most of the teams today, or most of the 4th down situations for these teams, they've punted it. But the Wave offense, Safari McElroy keeping his offense on the field. 2 receivers to the left in stack formation. B. McNeil back in at running back. Williams back to pass. In trouble. Half circling around, going backwards. Still going backwards. Finally gets away. And he'll run it up to the 30, 25. It's going to be close. He needed the 24. I think he got it. Yes, he did. He needed the 24. He got to the 22. How about that? ran about, I want to say, 35 yards on 4th and 9. But we're going to have a timeout on the field for an injured player. We'll take a quick break. 8:05 to play here in the third quarter. Be 1st and 10 when we return for the Florida Wave. Welcome back into Varsity Sports Nation. Out of the timeout taken by the Wave. 8:05 to play here in the third quarter. Wave got a first down on an official 11-yard run on 4th and 9, but Xavier Williams definitely ran about 30 to 35 yards on that play. Direct snap to McNeil. He'll take it, crossing the 20, and he'll be dragged down at about the 15-yard line. And just when you think that he is brought down, think again. Gain of 8. Tackled right around the 15, line to gains about the 13-yard line. And like I keep saying, that keeps that clock moving. 7.5 minutes gone here in this third quarter. And this has been the only drive of the half thus far. And Capos started on offense in the first half. Wave got, looks like they got 3 running backs, direct snap to the receiver, running around the corner, gets up to down to the 5, dragged down to the 4. Desjuan Davis takes the direct snap. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 5 for the Wave. So Coach McElroy just digging into his bag of tricks now. And talk to him pregame. He really wants to face off against the Dunedin Highlanders, for the playoffs. If it were to end, they'd play the Gulf Coast Sun Devils, who they play next week for their final game of the regular season. And last time the Highlanders and the Wave played each other, it was a 9-8 game taken by the Highlanders. Xavier Williams in at quarterback still. Zamir McNeil is back in. This time a traditional offensive formation. McNeil runs into a wall, and the wall goes to him. Nowhere to go as he's swallowed up by 2 defenders. First one there was Stephen Price. So 2nd down and goal, loss of 4 on the play. This time it'll be snapped from the 9. Again, Florida Wave in no hurry here. So 2nd and goal from the 9. And they got McNeil on the right side. They're moving over to the left side. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Tight end on the line. Williams takes it himself, runs it to the corner, has a lane, and tries to cut it back inside, but he is met right at the 5. Takes about 4 Capos to plant him into the ground. And it'll be 3rd and goal. We get back to the original line of scrimmage, and we've got an injured Capo on the field. We'll have a quick officials timeout. 4:16 to play here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be right back. Injury timeout on the field. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation out of the injury timeout. Injured Capo gets up and he is okay. Gets back to the sideline. And Wave will have it 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Looks like they're going to direct snap it to McNeil, and they will, and we've got a flag. It's going to be a false start on the Florida Wave, so back it up to the 10. The Capos trying to take any break they can get from some mistakes on the Wave. Again, clock is stopped at 3:44 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Now the clock will wind. Ball spotted at the 9. So 3rd and goal. Back at the 9-yard line for the Wave. Again, in no hurry, trying to use up as much of that clock as they can. Capos have not possessed the ball at all in this quarter. Longest drive of the game for either team. At least in minutes burned, I should say. Williams, back to pass. Throws it up towards the corner, and looking for a man in the corner. I believe it was Sanchez Maltzby Jr. Pass is incomplete. So that'll stop the clock. 2:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. See if they decide to go for a field goal here. Set up about a 26-yard field goal should they decide to do that. It looks like that's what they're going to do. Coach McElroy will send his field goal unit out there. No field goal attempts for either team. But Zamir McNeil will be out to kick the field goal. His holder is Sanchez Maltzby Jr. Wave trying to extend this lead to 16 points. McNeil, 1 for 2 on point afters, trying to go 1 for 1 on field goals. $26-yard field goal incoming. Snap is good, kick is up, and it is good! So Zamir McNeil blasts the kick through, and it's 16-0 Florida Wave over the Palm Beach Capos. We'll take a quick break here on Varsity Sports Nation. 2:43 to play here in the third quarter. When we return, don't go too far. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. 16-0 Florida Wave over the Palm Beach Capos. 12-minute, 17-second drive to open the half for the Wave, and they will kick it away. Zamir McNeil out for the kickoff. Kick it down to about the 18. That's where the Capos will return it. Out across the 35, out of bounds at about the 36. Was Intarius Oliver on the return. Oliver responsible for that ball that went through the back of the end zone back in that first quarter. And one of the plays on defense that has kept this game relatively close for this Capo squad. Because technically, if you think about it, it's still a two-possession game. Score a touchdown, get a two-pointer. 2 touchdowns, 2-point conversions. We're tied at 16. So this game is far from over from either side. As the Capos will start on offense from their own 38. Kelly hands it off to his running back. Picks up about 2, up to the 40, actually going to mark it at 41, so 3-yard gain. Ball carried by number 6 of Michael Mobley. In 12-minute and 17-second drive to open the second half. And first drive of the half for the Capos. Kelly rolling to his right, in trouble. Throws it down the field. It's incomplete. They were looking for Johnny Athalas, number 0. So minute 52 to play here in the third quarter. Brings up 3rd and 7 for the Capos. They need the 48 for a first down. Two receivers to the left and the right. Kelly and Mobley in the backfield. Kelly runs it up the middle, gets it across the 50s in space, up to the 40, tripped up and falls down at the 30. Oh, they're going to mark him at the 38. 1st and 10 for the Capos. And that'll get the energy moving on the sideline. Tyler Kelly doing it with his legs. Capos trying to go in some sort of hurry up here. Minute 22 to play in the third. It's still technically a two-possession game here. 16-0 Wave. Mobley gets dragged down to the 35, gain of 3, 2nd and 7 coming up here for the Capos. In the Wave, burning clock, Capos trying to go a little bit quicker. Less than a minute to play here in the third. Again, wide doubles. Mobley in the backfield with Kelly. Kelly back to pass. Rolling to his right. Throws it across the middle. It's caught! Up to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Capos! That's caught by number 85, Jerome Hutchins. And it's 16-6. How about that? When you had to have it, Hutchins answered the long-distance phone call. Capos will line up for the two-point try. Kelly rolling to his left, got a man behind him, and he's in! The two-pointer is good! And it's a one-score game. It didn't take 12-17. It took less than 2. And just like that, we got ourselves a football game here in Boynton Beach. We'll take a quick break. 34 seconds to play here in the third quarter. 16-8 when we return. Back here on Varsity Sports Nation, 34 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Florida Wave took 12 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock to open the half, followed it up with a field goal. And less than 2 minutes later, the Capos get into the end zone for the first time off a long pass and catch from Tyler Kelly to Jerome Hutchins. And the big kicker, number 72 of Vidal Bolanos for the kickoff. And he'll kick it deep. Bounces at the 20, mishandled momentarily, had to turn around and get it at the 14. This is the Wave. That was fielded by number 26 of Ty Stevens. And looks like the Wave will start their drive from their own 34. "25 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And if you're the Wave, really all you got to do is just bleed clock, but you got to score. Imagine if the Wave missed that field goal, we'd be sitting in a 13-8 game, assuming that everything was happened besides that field goal kick by Zamir McNeil. But nonetheless, 25 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Florida Wave, Xavius Williams in the backfield with his running back McNeil. Single receiver each side, two double tight ends as well. He'll hand it off to McNeil. And barrels his way up to about the 39. Gain of 5. Actually, mark him at the 38, gain of 4, 2nd and 6. And this should be the final play of the quarter. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. We go to the fourth. Got an exciting one here in Boynton Beach. We'll see who takes home the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in UFLX. We'll bring you the fourth quarter when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. We've reached the fourth quarter here in Boynton Beach, Florida. Palm Beach Capos have not led at all in this game. It's been all Florida Wave. Wave took 12 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock in the third quarter. Trying to take off even more and keep that Capo defense, or excuse me, keep that Capo offense on the sideline. Xavius Williams motioning a man across. He'll take it himself. McNeil set up as a blocker, and he'll be tackled right around the 35, so gain of 1 on the play. Swarm of Capos came in, led by Stephen Lewis. And we've got an injured Wave down on the field, down on the Capo sideline. We'll take a quick break. We return 14:39 to play here in the fourth quarter. Welcome you back here to Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida. And the injured player that was down for the Wave is the quarterback, Nazavius Williams. He had to be helped off by 3 of his teammates. He didn't even try to hobble off. They picked him up and carried him off the field. Again, we hope he's okay. Heard him writhing in pain when we were at break. And not a good thing to see if you're the Florida Wave, especially with the playoffs just around the corner. But again, we hope he is okay. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him. But we'll see what Coach McElroy decides to do on offense. In the game that we covered out in Winter Garden when they played the Knights of Central Florida, he was their quarterback the entire game. So we'll see if they decide to do some like gadget-style plays from here on out. But clock will run. Under 14 and a half to go here in this fourth quarter. They've got Deshaun Brown and Desjuan Davis to go along with Zamir McNeil. They're going to snap it to number 17, and he'll take it. Gets stopped right across the 35, down at the 37? Yes, 37-yard line. Direct snap to Desjuan Davis. So it'll bring up 4th and 7 for the Florida Wave, and they're going to punt. So we'll see how much of a factor that plays in, not having Nazavius Williams in their offensive backfield. So that'll force a 3 and out. And the Brent Bargerstock and the Capo offense ready to do battle after the punt. Again, they got to watch potential fake here, but they've got a man back at had to back up all the way to 25. Trying to make a couple people miss. Up to the 40, crosses the 50 and out of bounds. Kick was fielded by Gentarius Oliver. He's been the return man for this Capo special teams unit all night. And we'll see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to start. They're going to start in Wave territory. And it'll be spotted at the Wave 45. So perfect field position here for the Palm Beach Capos. Again, I said when the Wave kicked it to make it 16-0, it still was technically just a 2-possession game. 2 touchdowns, two-point conversions. They got the first touchdown and 2-point conversion. Can they get pay dirt again? We got some whistles before the snap. Timeout Wave. So with 12:55 to play here in the fourth quarter, the Wave will take their second timeout of 3. Here in the second half, they'll have 1 remaining. We'll take it with them here on Varsity Sports Nation. Capos with the football when we return. Back here on Varsity Sports Nation, 12:55 to play here in the fourth quarter. Capos will start the drive from the Wave 45. Kelly, quick toss to his running back, Mobley. Gain about 4 yards up to the 41. Brings up 2nd and 6 for the Capo offense. So now that the Capos have cut it to a one-score game, they don't technically have to go fast. They can start thinking about taking their time on this drive. And the way that drive to open the third quarter started, you would have thought that the score would be way more wide open than it is, but Capos able to force a field goal as Kelly throws it to the right side, has a man down there, and he's down at about the 33-yard line. It's hauled in by number 5 of Kaishawn Curry. See where they officially mark it. Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 33. Capos kind of feel the momentum switching over to the Capos here in the second half. Score was 13-0 at halftime in favor of the Wave. It's now 16-8. Capos outscoring the Wave 8-3 here in the second half. Kelly with the football, trying to turn the corner at the 30. He'll be dragged down right around the 31. First man to yank him down was Desjuan Davis. Gain of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 here for the Capos. Or check that, make that 2nd and 8 for the Capos. Ball spotted at the 31. They need the Wave 28. That was not correct math at all. They need the Wave 23. Sorry, guys. The math was just not mathing there. So 2nd and 8 for the Capos. 2 receivers out to the left and the right. Mobley and Kelly in the backfield. Whistle before the snap. That going to be an offsides or a false start? And it's going to be a dead ball, false start on the Capos. So back it up 5. Sets up 2nd and 13. Ball is at the Wave 37-yard line. In the echo from the sideline, got to stay disciplined. Whoever makes the fewer mistakes here in this fourth quarter should come home with a victory. Kelly hands it off to Mobley. Not much there. No gain on the play. Bring up 3rd and 13 for the Capo offense. Check that, 3rd and 14. Loss of 1. In the Wave, lost their quarterback, Xavier Williams. We think their next guy up is going to be Desjuan Davis. He took a snap out of that injury timeout. Taking a couple direct snaps in this game. Kelly rolling to his right. Tries to find an opening, throws it down the field. Wait a minute, I think that was picked off. Yes, it was. That was picked off by Avantrell Hazard. So another defensive stand. For the Wave defense, and they'll take over from their own 40. So 9:16 to play here in the fourth quarter. And we'll see who takes the snaps for the Wave offense. We've seen McNeil and Davis. Also seen Deshaun Brown take some snaps, but looks like officially they're going to go with Desjuan Davis for the rest of the game at that quarterback position. Again, Davis has a pick 6 in this game. They hand it off to McNeil. And he'll take it up to the 45, gain of 5 for the Wave offense. Second down. Under 8:40 to play here in the fourth. 2nd and 5 for the Florida Wave. Single receiver each side. Double tight ends. Davis in at quarterback. Snap he had to go reaching for it. So busted play from the start, loss of 1. This will bring up 3rd and 6. Again, Capos trying to give themselves a chance here. .746 and counting down here in the fourth. Again, the Wave burned a timeout early in the 3rd quarter, and then again here in the 4th, so they only have 1 remaining. Capos have all 3. They're going to move Kevo Tran in that backfield. And the ball gets away. Davis somehow gets it back. He's way back there, has to chuck it up in the air. Oh my gosh, was that caught? Yes, it was. How in the world did they do that? How in the world did they do that? Sanchez, Maltzby Jr., right place, right time. And it's a first down. They needed the 50. They got the Capo 49. That's unreal. It was the snap went through all 4 guys in the offensive backfield. Desjuan Davis had to go flying back to get it, somehow picked it up and stayed up, and just threw up a prayer down the sideline. And Maltzby Jr. pulls it down. Way to make something out of nothing there if you're the Wave offense. This time Davis gets it. McNeil runs into a wall, trying to run away from the mess. The ball comes out. It's still loose. Who has it? Capos think they have it. No signal. And they're pointing towards the Wave. So I guess McNeil got back on top of it. There was McNeil in the area outside the pile and Sermetrius Clark, number 59. So dangerous circumstances there for the Wave. Ball is back to their own 39-yard line. Loss of 12 on the play. 2nd down and 22 from their own 39. They need the Capo 39 for a first. Under 5 minutes to play here in the fourth. Capos trying to get off the field. Davis still in at quarterback for the Wave. He's got McNeil to his left. Davis rolling to his right. Pointing downfield, can't find a man. Stays free. And he'll be run out of bounds right near midfield. No official mark yet. and they will mark it right around midfield. So a rush of 11 yards brings up third and way more manageable for the Wave offense. Be third and 11 from right near the 50. They need the 39. And Coach Bargerstock has all three of his timeouts. We'll see if and when he decides to use them on this drive. You have to wonder if the Wave get another first down, does Coach Bargerstock start calling timeouts? Direct snap to Davis. Steps up, throws it across the middle, and incomplete. They were looking for number 26. Ty Stevens could not come up with it. That'll stop the clock with 4:20 remaining. And more importantly, it puts this at fourth down. Well, now they move the football up to the 49, so I'm a little confused on that one. So the Wave will opt to punt here. Two deep men here for the Capos. McNeil to punt for the Wave. High snap, pulls it down. This is going to be hit high up into the air. This is going to be a short punt. Only about maybe a 6-yard punt. And the Capos will take over from their own 43. So new life here for the Palm Beach Capos. They'll have 4:11, 3 timeouts, and the 2-minute warning to at least try and tie this game up. Entertaining is an understatement of a football game here in the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl between these two squads. Kelly in the backfield. He'll hand it off to his man. 2-yard gain on the play for Sebastian Lopez. And an injured Capo down at the 45. We'll take a quick break. 3:51 to play here in the fourth quarter. Capos trying to tie this game up here on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Injured player for the Capos makes it off the field under his own power. Kelly with the quick pass, incomplete. Brings up third down and 8 for the Capos. Injured player was number 59 of Ulrachsen Lusaint. So the incomplete pass stops the clock with 3:36 to play here in the fourth quarter. So 3rd down and 8. Capos need the Wave 47-yard line. Kelly and Lopez in the backfield. Kelly decides to pass it. It's complete. On his feet to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown Capos. How do you like that? It's the same guy as last time. Jerome Hutchins. That's his 2nd touchdown grab today, and it's 16-14. How do you like that? 2 long passes for Kelly, both to Hutchinson. And the Capos are a 2-point conversion away from tying up this football game. Kelly takes it himself, rolling to his right, pass in the corner, it's caught! The 2-point conversion is good! That's caught by number 5, Kashawn Curry, and we're tied at 16. Can you believe that? The sideline is fully recharged here for the Capos. So the kickoff team will be sent out. 3:24 to play. I told you when it was 16-0 that it technically was still a 2-score game. All the Capos needed was 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions to tie it. They've done it twice. How do you like that? Two deep men for the Wave. 3:24 to play. They'll kick it deep. Fielded at the 20. The Wave trying to run around the corner. And they get it up to about the 40. That was returned by Ty Stevens, number 26. And we talked to Coach Bargerstock pregame, and he said he's been super proud of his guys fighting through adversity. Being resilient was the word that he used. Key thing is be sound on defense, got to contain special teams. Their defenses stood tall in this second half. Again, Wave opened the third quarter with a 12-minute and 17-second drive, only got 3 points out of it. Capos turned around, had about a minute and 47-second drive to cut it down to 1 possession. And now the Wave have it with 3:16 to play. Davis takes the snap, hands it off to Brown, and he'll pick up about 5. Ball spotted at the Wave 42-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Capos have 3 timeouts left. And we'll see if Coach Bargerstock decides to burn any of them. I think he's going to wait to use them till after the 2-minute warning, but I think he's also going to wait to see if this play ends up as a 1st down. Hand off to Brown, and he's met in the backfield. The Capos came to collect their money. Timeout on the field, called by Coach Bargerstock. The city tax had not been paid. Capos came to collect. It'll be 3rd down and long. How about that? So the Capos call their first timeout of the second half. They'll have 2 remaining. Third and 8 from the Wave 39. They need to get to their 47 for a first. How about this Capo team? No quit, all resilience in this game. If they can somehow pull off a victory here, they'll have overcome about 5 turnovers in this game. Davis mishandles the snap, has to run, gets away, up the field, skips a tackle, gets across to the 50, still going, and he's out of bounds at about the 42. How about the leg movement of Davis? And it's a first down for the Wave into Capo territory. So Desjuan Davis having to come in place of Nazavius Williams in at quarterback. Hasn't been the prettiest, but he's made it work. Clock has stopped, 2:05 to play in the 4th quarter. This will be the final snap before the 2-minute warning. Davis skips a tackle, quick little dump pass up to McNeil, and he'll be stopped reaching forward up to the 41. Mark him at the 40, gain of 2. And that should be the 2-minute warning. So 2-minute warning. 1:55 to play officially. It'll be 2nd and 8 when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. This game is far from over. 16 all here in Boynton Beach. It's going to be a crazy showdown here in Boynton Beach. 16 all here in the final minute 55. Florida Wave have it 2nd and 8 from their 40. From the Capo 40. Davis by himself in the backfield. Rolling to his right, they decide to pass it, and the pass is broken up right around the 30. Seatbelt motion is pulled down there by Gentarius Oliver. Wave were trying to find Benny Thurman III. Haven't gone to him hardly at all tonight. More importantly, it's an incomplete pass. So for the Capos, they don't have to call timeout. They still have 2. So big play coming up here for the Capo defense, even more importantly for the Wave offense. We have to assume it's that the Wave are going to, if they get it close, they might try to sneak in a first down if they don't get it here. But Davis in the backfield, 3 receivers to the right, 2 out to the left. Davis rolls to his right. He'll throw it up in the air, and it's tipped and dropped. clock stops again. Interesting play call. So that'll stop with 1:42 to go. 4th down and 8 from the 40, and a big decision here for the Wave offense. Again, we don't want to assume, but I think that's a little far for Zamir McNeil's range. If they were to kick a field goal here, would be about a 57-yard field goal. So they'll send the punting unit out. 2 deep men for the Capos. McNeil into punt. If you're the Capo punt return team unit, watch for a fake. And they do fake it. McNeil up to the 35, crossing the 30, still going. And he'll be dropped at the 15. No flags. And it's a first down, Florida Wave. As a special teams core, you had to watch for a fake. The far receiver near the Wave sideline looked like he was in a stance to go. So he was the lead blocker on that side. One towards the Capo sideline, kind of just was standing there. And the Wave, really, I think they just need about 10 yards to seal a field goal spot. They're not going fast at all. And this will be taken by Davis. And he'll be stopped. No, still going, and is tackled at the 19. Again, the Wave have 1 timeout remaining. They're still not using it. Under 30 seconds to play here in the 4th. Again, interesting. They're letting a lot of time run off. Davis, McNeil, trying to get free. He'll toss it back to Davis. Throws it up into the air, and it's incomplete right around the 2. They were trying to go for number 5 of Sanchez Molsby Jr. 5 seconds to go. Timeout Capos. And the Wave will send out their field goal unit. Just when you think you thought this game was going to go a certain way, guess again. This game was 13-0 at the end of the first half. It was all Florida Wave. They started the 3rd quarter with a 12-minute, 17-second drive, converted a field goal to make it 16-0. Capos have scored 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions to tie the game, and it comes down to this. Ball will be snapped from about the 19. This is going to be a 36-yard field goal. 36-yard field goal to determine the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here in UFLX. And a flag is down. It's going to be, I guess it's too many men on the field for the Capos. So move it up 5 yards. Make it a little bit closer for McNeil. And another flag comes in. Unsportsmanlike conduct. So the flag was tossed for unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Defensive player took the flag and threw it over the fence. The official threw his hat up into the air to signal another penalty. So depending on where they spot this football, the Wave might just try and punch it in for a touchdown. So we have one player tossed officially. So penalty is half the distance to the goal. And it should be, thought it would be automatic first, but it's going to be third and about 1. So instead of a 37-yard field goal, or 36-yard field goal, I think is what the original one was, it's going to be a 24-yard field goal. In the holder for the Wave, Sanchez Maltzby Jr. Knee in the ground at the 14. 24-yard field goal to take the lead. 5 seconds on the clock. McNeil, kick is up, and it is no good! No good! Wide right! Unreal! So that should be the end of the fourth quarter. There's no time being put back on the clock. So it looks like we're going to overtime. We'll take a quick break. OT coming your way when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. The Palm Beach Capos will start on offense here in overtime. 10 minutes overtime. Again, while we were at break, chaos was ensuing on the Florida Wave sideline. Players were frustrated with how the fourth quarter ended. But after all of that, we're still tied at 16, and we still need a winner for the Coast to Coast Bowl here in Boynton Beach, Florida. So at the kickoff will be Zamir McNeil. Couple deep men here for the Capos. And here we go. McNeil, shorter kick, fielded at about the 30. Capos trying to get a run back here. Up to the 47, helmet flies off, late penalty marker. And we've got a player down. He pops up, he's okay. That was number 4, I believe, of Laren Brewster. And we'll see what the penalty flag is. It's going to be for personal foul, I believe, on the Wave. So the penalty will be added to the end of the return. So the Capos look like they're going to have it. Coaches from the Wave side are saying that it wasn't the hit that they thought it was. Wow. Frustration boiling over on the Florida Wave sideline. 1st and 10 from the Wave 35. Kelly hands it off. Mobley to the 30, 25, 20, 15, down to the 10. The offense staying alive here in the extra quarter. First and goal from the 10. Check that, 1st and 10 from the 11 for the Capo offense. 16 all here in overtime. Tyler Kelly, where will he go with it? Kelly runs it up. Tackled around the 7. First one there was Antoine Fuller. Seven yards to pay dirt for the Capos. Again, they emulated as close to NFL rules as they possibly can. So 10-minute quarter, hand it off to Mobley, and he'll slip, trying to run around the corner. No gain on the play, 3rd down and about 5 here for the Capo offense. This game was 13-0 Florida Wave to begin the 3rd quarter. Capos have come all the way back and tied it. Kelly takes the snap, looking for a man, rolling to his right. It's tipped and batted away last second. Batted away there by Ty Stevens. They were looking for Holmes in the end zone. This brings up 4th down. They're going to keep their offense on the field. They need the 1 for a first. See if they go for the first or try for a touchdown. And Tyler Kelly will call a timeout. So the Capos will take a second to talk about it. They'll burn their 1 timeout here in overtime. We'll take it with them here on Varsity Sports Nation. Still anybody's ball game here in Boynton Beach. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation here in Boynton Beach, Florida, here on the campus of Somerset Canyons. We'll see what Coach Bargerstock has drawn up outside this timeout. Kelly still in at quarterback. 2 receivers out to the right and the left. The 1 is for a first. Throw into the end zone is tipped and dropped. The Florida Wave defense stands tall. We stay at 16 all. So since the Capo offense possessed the ball and could not score, if the Wave get any type of score, that should be over. But they got to go about 94, 93 yards to get to pay dirt. Got 2 missed kicks today. So they've left 4 points on the field. 1 missed point after, 1 missed field goal at the end of the 4th quarter. And it looks like, if my eyesight serves me correctly, Nazavius Williams is back on the field for the Wave. Hands it off to McNeil. No gain up the middle. 2nd down. Yeah, I believe that's Nazavius Williams is back in at quarterback for the Wave. We'll confirm it as soon as they break the huddle. But that's a huge return if that's the case. Yeah, that's McNeil. Or excuse me, Williams. How about that? So Williams and McNeil in the backfield. Williams to throw. Deep down the field, and it's caught! It's caught right at the 42-yard line. Pulled down by Benny Thurman III. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the Wave 42. What a catch. They'll mark it at the 43. Capo defense trying to get organized. They said they were missing a player. So they had 10 men on the field until now. Four receivers on the field. Nazavius Williams and Zamir McNeil in the backfield. Williams tosses it to McNeil. McNeil across the 50. And he'll pick up about 7 yards, making it 2nd and 3. Line to gain is the Capo 47. Next score wins the game. Capos got all the way down to about the 6-yard line, I believe, and could not get it in the end zone. So next score wins it. Whether it's the Capos or the Wave. Wave have it on offense. Williams and got hit and injured his leg earlier. At least we think he did. Back over to Thurman the third. He's close. Short of a first down. So bring up 3rd and 1. So 3rd and 1 from the Capo 48. They need the 47, do the Wave for a first down. 5:20 to play here in overtime. If we are still tied at the conclusion of OT, it will end in a tie. Capos had a tie back on March 28th against the Florida Marines, trying to avoid having 2 ties on their home field. And we'll have a timeout on the field taken by the Wave. So both teams have used their timeout of overtime. We'll take a quick break. 4:55 left here in OT when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. 16 all here in overtime. The Florida Wave trying to win it here on offense. 3rd and 1. Williams trying to do the hard count, and we got a penalty. It's going to be a false start on the offense. Looks like they got Desjuan Davis with a little bit of a flinch. So back it up 5. This will set up 3rd and 6 from the Wave 46. Or check that, from the Wave 47. Still need the Capo 47 for a first down. So 3rd and 6 for the Wave. Wave trying to move to 6-3 and cement their place in the playoffs. Capos trying to finish the season at 3 wins. McNeil across the 50. Still going. Where are they going to mark it? It's going to be close. The Wave think they got it. The ref says no, it's going to be short. 5-yard rush, therefore Zamir McNeil, and it's going to be 4th and 1. Big decision time here for the Florida Wave. So late substitution coming in here for the Capos. Clinton Williams will come in. Ramsey Jones will come out. We'll see if Nazavius Williams tries the hard count once again. Wave in no hurry here. Quick snap. McNeil gets the first down, a whole lot more. He'll be dragged down to the 40. 1st and 10 for the Florida Wave. So we'll see what the Wave decide to do. Again, they tried the field goal at the end of the 4th quarter, did not make it. Again, no real sense of urgency here from the Wave offense. Now we're under 3 minutes to play here in overtime. Again, anything can happen here for these teams. Nothing is for sure in this game if we've learned anything. Williams hands it off to Brown. Nothing much there, maybe a yard. They're going to spot it at the 39. Clock continues to move. Under 2:20 to play here in this overtime period. They bring in Jerome Russell on that Capo defense. 2nd down and 9. And that'll stop. They'll stop it for the 2-minute warning here in overtime. We're still knotted up at 16. It'll be 2nd and 9 when we return here on Varsity Sports Nation. 39 more yards to go to hit pay dirt for the Wave. Still anybody's game. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Nation. Out of the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line. Williams, back to pass. He'll try to roll to his right. And that pass is caught. And it's good for a 1st down. Desjuan Davis needed 9, he got 11. Or needed 9, he got 10, I'm sorry. Ball is spotted at the 29. So 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Clock stops at 1:52 to play here in overtime. Wave running up to the line of scrimmage. Williams hands it off to Brown. Cuts it back inside, runs into a wall of Capos. As I've been saying all night, Capos came to collect the money. And that's a loss of 5. Loss of 6, rather. 2nd and 16. Second and 16 from the 35. So the Wave, minute left in overtime. Williams hands it off to McNeil. And he'll be tackled around the 32, 33-yard line. And timeout, Capos. So I apologize. Each team gets 2 timeouts in overtime. 38 seconds. Wait, hold on. So the scoreboard said there was 1 timeout each. Each team burned 2. Now a penalty marker's on the field. Waiting to hear who the penalty is on. So now all 5 referees having a conference. Ball is at the 34. Clock is stopped with 38 seconds to play. All right. So it's so there was only 1 timeout each team, as I thought. Each team burned 1. So it's going to be they did the motion for delay a game on the defense, so that moves it up 5, I guess. Now it's at the 28-yard line. All right, roll the clock. Under 33 to play. Williams rolls to his left, throws it, caught, and the receiver falls down around the 18. First down, Wave got to hurry. If they don't hurry, this game's going to end in a tie. There's no sense of urgency. I don't know what they're doing. And multiple flags come out. Clock is stopped with 4 seconds to go. All right. Dead ball, false start against the Wave. So that's the end of the game, I guess. Wow. So we're still getting an explanation down with the white hat. So it's official. That's the end of the game. I'm still waiting around just to be sure. Coach McElroy wants an explanation. And yeah, that'll do it. So wow. So after all that, this game will end in a tie. So the final score of the first annual Coast to Coast Bowl here for UFLX between the Florida Wave and the Palm Beach Capos is a 16-16 tie. Capos will finish the season 2-6-2, and the Florida Wave will move to 5-3-1. They will have one game remaining. They will have one game remaining on May 2nd at 7 Eastern against the Gulf Coast Sun Devils. And that is how this game ends. So it ends in a tie. Second tie that the Capos have had here at home. Last one was against the Florida Marines back on March 28th. That's the first tie for the Wave. And that's all she wrote. We thank you guys for tuning in here on Varsity Sports Nation. That'll do it for the Capos season here for UFLX Week 10. Florida Wave have one more regular season game left. Brackets, or the standings, should be finalized by the end of next week on who's the 1 seed all the way down to the 7 seed between the Universal and the Extreme conferences. I've been Conrad Volch here on Varsity Sports Nation. Thank you for being with us all day, all evening tonight. Final score from Boynton Beach here at Somerset Canyons. The Palm Beach Capos, 16, and the Florida Wave, 16. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Varsity Sports Nation. Unleash the champion within.